You see so much news today. If you turn on CNN or Fox News, and there's always some place in the world that's 10,000 miles away where terrible things are happening, where revolutions are happening or whatever. And we forget sometimes that 140 some odd years ago, that type of thing was happening right here in our little hometown. Most people don't think of the area where they live as ever being part of any kind of historical thing. I mean, we can walk today on an area that literally 40,000 men fought to the death. Today it just looks like a nice old house. But if you don't remember the history, then you don't understand where we came from. You don't understand how the United States got to be what it is today. There were terribly turbulent times here, and there were people who endured just incredible things. There were people who were here in a war zone, just local folks, just old farmers and blacksmiths and whoever, people just like you know today. But when they were alive, they were in the middle of a war.
The Civil War is the great American epic. The end result is one country. The end result is one United States, forged in fire and battlefields, on battlefields all across the country. And Franklin's important because you can't get to the end of that war without coming through some really awful places. And Franklin is just one of those. So I think it's important, I mean, not to get on the soapbox, but especially for kids your age. I mean, people said the same thing to me when I was your age, is to remember what other people went through. You know, so we don't have to. That we don't have to go through this stuff, because you know, the United States is not perfect, but it is still the greatest country in the world, and it almost died during the Civil War. So I think that Franklin is part of that larger context, but that in and of itself, I think, is critically important. And people can come to Carnton and, you know, they can see it with their own eyes what was going on, at least, you know, some of it.
And part of our job is to bring Tennessee history alive to the customers who come and visit our museum. Now, those customers could be school groups or individual families or just visitors to the state of Tennessee. Now, a couple of the ways we do this is by offering school tours of both the museum and the Capitol, the Tennessee State Capitol building, and we also do live programs. We talk about the history of the state of Tennessee, and whether you know it or not, all of us make history. So we really are telling our story, the present day story, and the people who preceded us and what their story was. And by learning their story, hopefully we understand our own lives a little bit better.
To me, my dad's service in World War II is not ancient history. To some, you know, but you know, people forget that service. And you see reenactors of World War II, and it's kind of funny, but I'm sure somebody would think, well, we reenact colonial times, it'd be strange too. But I think it's really good to hang on to the sacrifice.
Who is Napoleon, and where is he from?
France and an emperor.
Napoleon, he was French, from France. Yeah.
Napoleon Bonaparte was from France, and he was the general that led the war.
Napoleon Bonaparte was he was a famous leader, general of the French armies back. I don't know the time frame exactly, but one of the great leaders of the past, I guess.
He was an emperor, and he was from France, I think.
All right.
Wow, that's a trick question. We got that in trivia for C. Napoleon was the Emperor of France.
Napoleon Bonaparte, the Emperor of France.
He's from France, and he was the leader, and his wife was just mean. And
Napoleon Bonaparte was the French emperor who led France in the French Revolution. Who was America's World War II general?
World War II. Was it MacArthur? No. Eisenhower?
U.S. World War II general. The leading general. Let's see. Can't think of it right now.
World War II general. That's a good question. I don't think I get that. Welcome to Jeopardy. I don't know. Patton.
World War II general? There's a bunch. I would probably say Eisenhower.
MacArthur.
Eisenhower was America's chief World War II general. Who was Winston Churchill?
He was the Prime Minister of England.
The Prime Minister of Britain. And a complete drunk.
He was the leader for over in England.
Winston Churchill was the British Prime Minister during World War II. What year was the Civil War fought?
1846.
Civil War was 1861 to 1865.
Civil War was fought from 1861 to 1865. Who gave the Gettysburg Address?
Lincoln.
Who won?
Gettysburg Address was Abraham
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address.
Who was the president during the Great Depression?
Truman? Roosevelt.
Was it Hoover?
FDR.
Franklin D. Roosevelt was the president during the Great Depression.
I think it's important, I mean, not to get on the soapbox, but especially for kids your age, I mean, people said the same thing to me when I was your age, is to remember what other people went through, you know, so we don't have to.